Good evening, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Welcome to another episode of Critique Corner with me, Daniel Parker.
And me, DB Fastbinder.
And if you are returning, welcome back. If you're new, what we do here is we critique stuff from our corners. This week, we've got a couple of classic movies, beloved classics, one of which is considered one of the greatest movies ever made. And I got my own little review to talk about in between. But to start us off, we've got The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
So this is one that I'd always been a little bit curious about. Where I first heard about it was actually what I thought was a James Taylor original song, which turned out to, in the course of me looking it up, I discovered that James Taylor had not written the song.
Yeah, it was Gene Pitney, I believe, was the original singer on the song.
Okay, so although the song was inspired by the plot of the 1962 John Ford Western, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, it was not used in the film.
Yes.
Gene Pitney later explained that Paramount Pictures had paid for the recording session, and he only learned midway through that the movie had already been released.
Oh, geez.
It did give him a top 10, though. So, okay, so and this is like kind of putting the cart before the horse, but like when we watched this, I kept waiting for the song to come up. Like, okay, is it going to be over like the opening credits? Like, I could imagine somebody like like somebody riding into town with that in the background, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
But no. So I don't know. Maybe it's just because movies were like kept in theaters for longer back then that they figured they would goose the residuals with it. I just don't know the logic, because it's not like they were like going to be advertising it for home video release, because that didn't exist until the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very odd. Yeah,
it's a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but the as for the movie, of course, it stars some legends of the screen. We got the Duke himself, John Wayne. You got Jimmy Stewart. You have Lee Marvin as the titular Liberty Valance.
And living up to the description from the Simpsons bit about Paint Your Wagon, he's always drunk and violent, which does fit him well in the movie.
Yes, it does. Yeah. And you also have Vera Miles, who plays the love interest, and she was in Psycho. She played Janet Leigh's sister in the movie.
Oh, the one who came looking for her later.
Right. Yeah. But so basically the movie starts off. It's so we were talking before the show. We weren't quite sure where, because it's not really mentioned where it takes place, but we kind of looked it up, and it's probably either Colorado or New Mexico.
Right. Now they do only refer to probably because they mentioned the Picket Wire River repeatedly mentioned. It was probably Colorado, but it's just not specified. They do amusingly refer to Capital City repeatedly, or the capital. They just call it Capital City or the Capital City, because they just call it Capital City. Then we have our origin story of the unnamed Simpson state.
Yes. I think
there is a place I know called Capital City.
Yeah, I think there is. Yeah, I've heard of one too, but yeah, I can't remember. I just remember them referring to it as Capital City, but it's in the town of Shinbone, and the movie starts off where Jimmy Stewart and Vera Miles return to Shinbone because Jimmy Stewart's character, Ransom Stoddard, he's a U.S. senator, and they're in town because one of their friends has passed away, and they're there for the funeral. And their friend was named Tom Donovan, and that's John Wayne's character.
Okay, I'm just going to say it right now. Donovan, the way they say it, it has a PH in the middle of it, I believe.
Yeah.
It always sounded like everybody had like a speech impediment or something.
Yeah.
Like I said, it should have been Donathan or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's Vera Miles, her name was Hallie, not Allie, but Hallie.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Yeah, very, very interesting choice of names in there. But yeah, so they're in Shinbone for Tom's funeral, and of course, as they're riding into town, they meet up with these news reporters. One of them is an editor, another is a reporter, and of course they're curious because they're like, well, why is a U.S. senator in this little town, and who's this Tom Donovan guy? They never heard of him before, and so then Ransom, he starts to tell the story of when he first rode into town, and we flash back a couple of decades, and he's in this wagon, and they get robbed by a gang of bandits led by Liberty Valance, and of course, Ransom is he's a lawyer, but he's a bit of a hothead, and mouths off to Liberty Valance, and Liberty Valance proceeds to whip him.
Literally, yeah, he carries around a silver-handled whip with him.
Yeah. And so then he gets left out there for dead, but then Tom Donovan found him out there and takes him to Hallie's place. She now with the couple, the Swedish couple that was in there. I can't remember if they were her parents or if they were just like people that she worked for. And
let's see, I'm not sure. I mean, the fact that she had absolutely no accent whatsoever. Maybe she was just boarding with them.
Probably, yeah. I think she was. Yeah, she was just boarding with them and working for him. Yeah, so they take Tom Donovan takes them to Hallie so they can patch him up, and that's when they find out about that Liberty Valance is coming into town, and then we also meet the town marshal. His name was what was it?
Andy Devine.
Yeah. Andy Devine was the actor. Link Appleyard.
They had such interesting names in this movie. They got too creative.
Yeah. But the town marshal, of course, he's this fat bumbling oaf who just doesn't want to do anything. It's just, as soon as he hears the name of Liberty Valance, he's like, "Oh, Liberty Valance!" Oh.
I'm sure Andy Devine was in many things. The thing I know him best for is, of course, being Friar Tuck in the animated Robin Hood movie.
Oh, the Disney one?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, so basically the whole movie is kind of has this contrast between John Wayne's character and Jimmy Stewart's character. So, John Wayne's character, he's the typical kind of man in the West, there's a way to handle your problems out here, and it's with a gun, and he's
force is the only law out here.
Right. And of course Jimmy Stewart's the opposite. He believes in law and order, and I don't want to kill anybody. I want him to, I don't want to kill Liberty Valance. I want him to go to jail. And okay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So as I look at this cover here, I want to say that this particular shot here, like if some Wolverine artists back in the 70s and 80s weren't looking at this for his various civilian appearances.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Like that is so like one of the outfits they had him in quite often.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. They did. Yeah.
Like very, very similar. And like that is a very Wolverine facial expression there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so John Wayne, and of course the other complication of the movie is you have ourselves a nice little not a love triangle, it's requited in two ways, but not in the other.
Right. Yeah.
An incomplete triangle.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, John Wayne's, Tom, he's in love with Hallie, and but she not quite sure how she feels about him. Obviously, not too into him. But
Because like, what else does she have?
right, yeah. But then old Jimmy Stewart comes into town, and she's like, oh, that she's just falls head over heels in love with him.
Yeah, right. Because he wants to teach her how to read, and
Yeah.
and he's just very different than anybody else.
Yeah.
So I think that this one is worth watching. So I don't think we necessarily need to go blow by blow. And unlike
Right.
our other classic movie, like just existing in popular culture, the Godfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
This movie is, I think that making that song was probably the most brilliant thing that Paramount could have done, because I certainly would never have heard of this one if not for that.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah. And then I remember growing up, my parents would occasionally watch this movie, and I always ignored it because I didn't like Westerns. And it was also in black and white. And when I was a little kid, I didn't like black and white movies. And by the way, I wanted to mention real quick, the reason this movie was in black and white, because it came out in 1962. By then, they were making movies in color all the time. The reason it's in black and white is because all of the characters that the actors are playing in this movie are supposed to be in their 20s. and I can tell you, John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart were not in their 20s in this movie.
Yeah, so I'll admit that I kind of find myself thinking, so are they making them up to look younger in the past, or are they making them look older in the future?
Yeah.
I think the answer was probably both.
Yeah.
But this movie has a lot of pathos. Also,
Yeah.
Lee Marvin is great as Liberty Valance, because he's just such a bully and a bastard.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And the cast is just full of all these little very simple characters who all get their little moments to shine, and like, if they don't contribute to the plot directly, they're at least amusing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's quite a bit of humor in this movie. Yeah. Yeah, like when there's a scene where they're having taking the vote because they're trying to decide if they want to become a state or not. And they got to send a couple of delegates to the Capitol, to vote on it. And they have it in the saloon, and the editor of the newspaper, who's also the town drunk,
Yeah. Yes, a high functioning alcoholic.
yeah, he's like, oh, I get a drink, and John Wayne keeps saying, no, bar is closed.
The bar's closed.
Yeah.
But
no, I highly recommend this movie, even if you don't like Westerns. Because DB, you were talking before the show about how, like, people kind of have this idea about a John Wayne Western, how it's just like how it's very black and white, and good guys and the bad guys and all that, and there's not really nothing much to it. But like, that's not the case with this movie.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of there's a bit of moral ambiguity, because there is a lie at the center of this story.
Yeah.
There's a love triangle. Well, there's
politics, and
right, there's politics. And what I thought, okay, so one thing I thought was interesting was that at one point that you have James Stewart's character running this little school he set up, and it's like, did James Stewart just have a thing where there had to be a civics lesson in every movie he was in? Between this and Mr.
Smith Goes to
Washington. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a not so subtle scene in there. So okay, so John Wayne's character has a like a helping hand, I guess you would call him.
Yeah, because I think this would have been after slavery was abolished, but
Yeah, Pompey, I think was his name.
Pompey, yeah.
Yeah, and he's in the school and he's reciting the opening line of the Declaration of Independence, and as he's standing up to do it, there's a picture of Abraham Lincoln right over his shoulder.
Yeah, extremely blunt.
Yeah. He forgets the part about that says where all men are created equal, and he said, "Oh, I forgot that part." And Jimmy Stewart says, "That's okay. A lot of people forget that part."
Yeah, Pompey's an interesting character because like he is kind of the hired help, but everybody seems to like and respect him.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's also a scene in there where like he goes into the saloon and they're telling him, "Hey, get out of here," and John Wayne's like, "No, he can stay." Yeah.
Well, and also he does trust Pompey to John Wayne trusts Pompey to be his gunman or carry his gun around for him.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's not exactly like modern progressive. If anything, it's just like they just treat Pompey like he's one of the other characters who has foibles that people make fun of a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
What was the other thought that I had? Now, like, now I'm going to stick to it. It would be tempting to spoil this movie because there is like in the scene of where Liberty Valance is shot, there is an inconsistency that you're kind of astounded that wouldn't be noticed.
Yeah. Even in the Old West. Yeah.
The only thing I can account for with it is that the town doctor is a huge drunk, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say that Liberty Valance got shot and died, considering the title of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah.
This is like one of those funny moments where and they managed to not quite go to bathos because it always feels like very realistic. Like everyone's gathered around Liberty as he's laying there. Doctor says, give me some whiskey," and you think, oh, it's a medical situation. The doctor just is gonna like try to sterilize the wound or whatever. Doctor takes the bottle, just takes a belt.
Yeah, just
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Yeah, he just looks down and was like, "Yeah, he's dead."
So if I would, yeah, we recommend this movie. It is currently available to watch for free on Pluto, or you can rent it at various places like Amazon or what have you.
Yeah, and it might show up on Paramount Plus at some point too. I've seen it pop up there every now and then. So.
Yeah, you do wonder with these old movies how they decide what to put up there because it's not like I guess there's like probably like a small bit of royalties that are still going out for it.
Yeah,
but not for much longer.
Yeah, probably to John Ford's grandkids and great grandkids.
And what the John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart estate. Like I ended up renting it because I forgot it was on Pluto. So it's like, So that was a $4 rental. So probably like 3 cents went to the John Ford estate, and
yeah,
depending on the deal.
Yeah.
So so Daniel, you watched something that I saw in theaters last year.
Yes. Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1. Which is currently on Crunchyroll. Finally dropped on there, I think like a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. I won't try to don't go too far into the plot because DB already did that last year, but just a little refresher. So it picks up where the last season of Demon Slayer left off, where the Hashira of the Demon Slayer Corps are about to kill Musan Kibutsuji, who's the big baddie of the series, the big demon guy, only to for Musan to trap them all in the Infinity Castle. and not just the Hashira, but like the entire Demon Slayer Corps. And so the movie is basically just a series of different fights between some of the Demon Slayers and the demons. And of course, all the while that's happening, you've got the master of the dead master of the Demon Slayer Corps. His remaining children are in the play in this like location, and they're trying to map out the Infinity Castle, which I thought was a pretty cool little thing there. They're just drawing it out, and then they got guys putting all the maps, the paper everywhere. But yeah, so like I will say the opening, the first big fight in there is very shocking. With God, what was her name? The one butterfly girl.
Shinobu.
Shinobu, yeah. Shinobu fighting the upper two. I think was it the second highest or third highest ranked demon?
Really high up there. So I remember when I read that in the manga the first time, then seeing in the movies just like emphasized it. Just what a complete monster asshole that guy is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because he was basically already a human cult leader when he got recruited and turned into a demon.
Yeah, and then just just very
completely slimy.
Oh yeah. So that part was very shocking, and then of course then you have you had Zenitsu fighting his brother.
Not his brother, but it was like another disciple of the same master.
Yeah. And I will say Zenitsu, he wasn't doing that sleepwalking thing anymore, where he passes out and then he sleepwalk fights.
Yep, our boy leveled up.
Yeah, he did. But I guess the main set piece or the main fight is with Tanjiro, and then oh god, I can't remember his name.
The Hashira who killed, the demon who killed. Basically the one who showed up at the end of the Infinity Train movie, and ended up killing our Flame Hashira.
Right.
So, and they've kind of hinted around like where they've kind of been building him up since then. I would say that for me, just looking back on this movie, it was like it was not designed for somebody to go, oh, I've heard about this Demon Slayer thingy. I think we'll go check it out. Like, you have to be up on where the show's been.
Oh yeah. You have to have watched every single episode in order to know like who all the characters are, why they're so important. The interpersonal dynamics, all of it. Yeah.
Right. And that was because this is like so Demon Train was I forget what, I guess Infinity Train was a different show. Demon Train was a section of the manga that they adapted that was pretty easy to condense down into a movie-length thing. This, of course, is going to be multiple movies, not only because they have a incentive to milk it a bit to maximize their returns.
Yeah.
But also because there's just a lot here, because this is a endless series of battles.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically just like 2.5 hours of very long, intense fight scenes, and obviously very very beautifully animated. Nice blend of the 2D art and the CGI. In the just how like seeing how the Infinity Castle is always moving around, and they use that pretty well when it's like, up is down, left, down is up, left, right, and all that.
It kind of occurs to me that they did a good job in this series of building up to this, considering that one of the first monsters they fought was a guy who could do something similar with drums inside of a much smaller house, like just rearrange everything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and this it's another demon with a shamisen doing the ding 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 ding. Yeah.
Yep. So like this was not a idea that came out of nowhere. They just wanted to. That was like a dry run for this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, but like I would say the flaw of it, of course, is that you don't get a whole story out of it,
Right.
because it isn't a whole story. It is like it is part one of an arc. It'd be like if they made a movie out of being on Tatooine in Star Wars Episode 4,
Oh yeah.
in
Yeah.
terms of how much story there's left to tell.
Right. Yeah. The only thing I will say that I was only drawback that I have, and it's not just this, but it's with a lot of shonen anime, is the when you think the fight scene is over, you think the battle is over, and then the bad guy like pulls a wild card, and then it's just like, and then it goes on for another 10 minutes.
Haha, you thought you had the ultimate power, but I had the power of ultimate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's just it's just like, okay, just get it over with already.
Yeah, I think it would hit differently when it gets turned into just regular TV episodes, because of course I think it's going to be just based on past experience with how they handled the Demon Train movie.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I ended up watching it as a TV show with people. Um,
Uh,
they're gonna have more scenes than they have in the movie version, but not a lot more scenes, and they won't like be hugely important.
mm. Yeah, yeah. Well, but no, I mean, it's certainly an entertaining, entertaining movie, and a good entry into the series. Interesting to see how it finally ends. When they finally get Musan, and bring an end to all the demons.
Yep. And having read the manga many years ago, I know that the answer to that question, but I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah,
Like I said, I would actually say that just going in and watching the Demon Train movie, which is also available on Crunchyroll in that format,
yeah,
if you haven't actually seen Demon Slayer yet, that would be a decent way to check out to see if it would be up your alley,
yeah,
because it is just a 90-ish 2-hour movie.
yeah.
So
And I
um,
will, yeah, I will say, like, the first season kind of starts a little slow.
yes,
Yeah,
I will admit that one. Demon Slayer is like, I would say it's a C-ranked story that is heavily carried by the fact that it's animated lovingly by Ufotable,
oh yeah,
or UFO Table if you don't want to turn it into a full word.
yeah,
Um, but it also has like very iconic character designs, and like this is kind of the benefit of a lot of shonen anime, is that the characters are very easy to read and appreciate without. In fact, you could probably read a lot into them if you feel like it.
right, yeah. But
Um,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, just like the pacing in this one is going to be weird because it's not actually ending the story. It's like ending a sub story.
right, yeah. So do we have any idea when the next one's coming out?
I have not heard anything, but I also haven't looked into it.
Yeah,
Let's find out real quick.
yeah, because I mean, it's already been a year, so
All right, when is the next Demon Slayer movie? Okay, so they announced the release dates last year.
uh,
Part 1, part 2, 2027 and 29 respectively. Oh, they are milking this.
oh, they are, yeah. Oh, God. Wow.
I mean, okay, I'll give them this. It isn't the second Spider-Verse movie where they ended with a cliffhanger and had no schedule for when the next one was coming out.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want to bet against it because the new Spider-Man movie is making a huge box office bank right now.
yeah.
But I have to wonder if it's gonna suffer at all for just how long they're having to wait between parts.
Oh, it might. Yeah.
We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, there's so many Godfather jokes that I could put in right here as a transition point. I'm actually getting choice paralysis.
Oh no.
Um, well, Daniel, make me choose because it's an offer I can't refuse.
Yeah.
And that was kind of weak, but
Yeah.
look,
Uh,
I believe in this country. I believe
yes.
in America.
Yes. Yes. The Godfather. The classic Francis Ford Coppola gangster movie from based on the novel by Mario Puzo. Um,
It gave us many things, like Al Pacino.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, apparently I don't know much about it, but I guess the story of how the movie was made is pretty interesting too.
Yeah, it's been turned into a Paramount Plus show called The Offer, as I recall.
Yeah, and I will say one of the things was that the Paramount didn't want Al Pacino playing Michael Corleone because they thought he was too short.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah. um, but yeah, so the Godfather is of course the story of the Corleone family, the mafia family, Italian Americans, led by the Don Vito Corleone, who of course played magnificently by Marlon Brando, who I believe he won the Oscar for it. And that's another thing too. Brando at the time when this movie came out, his career was like in the toilet. And this was like his big comeback, and then career went back in the toilet again not long after that.
Yeah, for a guy whose career was in the toilet so often, he ended up being in a lot of very iconic movies, like
Yeah,
there's Apocalypse Now.
yeah. Superman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, when he kept having to hide his weight gain, but
no, yeah. But yeah, the movie, the I guess if you want to go and talk plot, the plot is basically just the Corleone family. It's set in the 1940s, just after World War II, and it starts off with the Corleone daughter, who's actually played by Talia Shire, who's Adrian in the Rocky movies.
Oh, I thought she was familiar. Okay.
Yeah, Connie. Yeah, Connie's getting married. And by the way, this isn't a thing, but in the movie, a Sicilian cannot refuse a request on the day of his daughter's wedding.
I mean, it makes sense that it isn't a thing because that would be such such an abusable loophole
Yeah,
for a culture.
yeah. So like the opening scene in the movie is this guy, this, as DB was quoting earlier, I believe in this country, I believe in America, and he was asking the Don for a favor, because his daughter was dating this guy, and
Not an Italian.
not an Italian, and then he tried to force himself on her, and she fought back, and then him and this friend of his beat her up, and she was a beautiful girl, and now she's not beautiful anymore, and he's and of course the Don, he said, well, what would you like me to do? What are you asking of me? He said, well, I want justice, and because the police aren't giving me justice. Like, well, why didn't you come to me first? Why did you go to the police?
Yeah. And so it is kind of hard to say like what the movie is about outside of it's about the family, because like that is such a key part of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I will.
I guess it's the fall of, or rise, depending on your perspective, of Michael Corleone, the son of the Don.
Right. Yeah. and also too, like the Corleones, the criminal underworld, is the landscape of it is changing, so like the Corleones, they were into like gambling and prostitution, and which
normal vices.
yeah, harmless vices, yeah. But now a lot of the families are moving into drugs, and the Don Corleone's like, oh, we're not doing that, we're not doing drugs. So then that just kind of sparks this mafia war, and
because he refuses to invest in the opportunity, but he's also like, I'm not going to get in your way, but I'm not going to invest in this, and they take that personally.
Yeah. Yeah, and as DB points out, it's basically the rise of Michael Corleone, because mainly because Sonny, the oldest son, who's played by James Caan, he gets whacked. Yeah.
I'm going to say this. I'm probably the only person on the planet who would be remotely interested in The Godfather who hasn't seen The Godfather yet. So we're just going to kind of talk about it like, okay, we're not going to worry too much about spoilers. So just
right. Yeah. So Sonny gets whacked, and of course the middle son, Fredo, is useless. And so now it kind of falls on Michael, who's it's Al Pacino, and of course we find out near the end of the movie that Don Corleone, he didn't want this life for Michael. He wanted Michael to be Senator Corleone or Governor Corleone, something like that.
Yep. And it's hard to. I think I'd call this a tragedy. I don't think there's like too much question about it, because, but it's also, I could very easily see somebody saying, "Why do I care what happens? They're all monsters."
Mm-hmm.
Like their stock in trade is human misery.
Yeah.
Whether they're inflicting violence out of for family revenge, or whether they're prostitution isn't a victimless crime, especially when it's being handled by private agencies, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then and also too, there are a lot of moments in there where you do see just how like horrible they are, not just like killing people, but also a prized horse's head in a bed, because a movie studio producer doesn't want to put a basically like a Frank Sinatra kind of guy in a movie.
Yep. So on the one hand, like, I could see somebody, like, I know a lot of people who just go, "Why do I care about this?" Well, the reason you care about this is not only is it one of the most influential movies of all time, like, because it came in at just the right time. Like, throughout the 50s and 60s, every studio had gone bankrupt at some point.
Yeah.
Or been bought up. Like, I think this is like a few years before this, Warner Brothers started its 60-year history of being passed around from one owner to the next.
Yeah.
like an unwanted Christmas fruitcake.
Yeah. When like a parking thing, they own like a bunch of parking lots or something like that. Then they own them.
I learned about, like, in this one where they're doing some of the history of the Looney Tunes. Like, at one point, Warner Brothers was literally owned by a guy who owned a set of paid parking lots in the Northeast, I want to say. Which, when you think about like what a movie studio should cost, the fact that somebody in that that's his primary line of business, could afford it is very telling.
Yeah. But a lot of studios were struggling financially, so it was the rise of the auteur filmmaker, and studios just basically told these guys, make whatever movies you want, just don't spend too much money. And one of those guys was Francis Ford Coppola.
Yep, and that's where we got The Godfather from.
Yep.
as somebody who has watched The Simpsons, Family Guy, multiple direct parodies of The Godfather when I was younger,
Yeah.
uh, Freakazoid, um, this thing, and of course, been online and seen people making every noteworthy scene of this movie into a meme.
Yeah.
Um, I gotta say that this is kind of distracting to watch because, like any cool scene, if you've like you basically know what's going to happen in the context of the scene. Now you don't know how they stitch together,
Yeah.
so that's still interesting. But I kind of just kept going the whole time. Well, because that's where that's from. Okay, that's where that's from. That's where that's from.
Yeah. 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 Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't know that that's what this was from.
Yeah.
But everybody's given a great performance. I would not say anybody's giving a subtle performance. This is like about manly, violent men doing manly, violent things and having explosive disagreements with one another.
Yeah.
I would actually say that that's what, now that I think about it, that's kind of a thing that ties Don Vito Corleone and Michael together, is that they both have their moments, but they both are able to conduct themselves in a very calm, dignified way.
Yeah.
Like he is the true heir, much more than his hot-headed Sal or Fredo the lump.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's also hard not to compare this to, like, say, Casino, Goodfellas, like so many movies. Like this birthed so many movies. This birthed a whole subgenre of movies.
Oh yeah, It was, it was the Godfather of gangster movies. Yeah,
And so it would be like somebody who was just getting into mecha anime, watching Evangelion and going, "Well, what's special about this?"
yeah,
Or somebody watching Ghost in the Shell. It's like, "Well, this is just Cyberpunk 2077." It's like, "Hey, dingus,
yeah,
where do you think that came from?"
yeah. Hello, anybody home?
So I'd say, like, personally speaking, I knew the movie too much to like appreciate it as a movie,
Yeah,
but like all the individual components are just masterfully put together.
yeah. Oh yeah. Well, um, so in the let me ask you, DB, is Peter Griffin right? Does the Godfather insist upon itself?
Hmm. I wasn't looking too much for insistence while I was watching it. Um, no, I think Peter Griffin's just an idiot, like always.
Yeah.
Like, again, if I was just watching it fresh, and okay, I remember there was a line on a Simpsons commentary track where they were saying that they could probably take all of the various parody clips that they'd made over the years and make a largely unbroken cut of The Godfather Part 2, just out of Simpsons clips.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And this is not after 30 seasons. This is after like 12-ish seasons back when they were coming out with the DVDs.
Yeah. Yeah, the one scene where Homer is walking around and everybody's getting him donuts. That was from
Up,
The
up, up, up,
Godfather.
up.
Yep.
Oh.
That's a nice donut.
Hey, Daniel, I kind of talked over you.
That's okay.
Or at least I didn't really ask your thought. Like, what did you think of this? I don't know if you'd actually seen this before.
I'd only seen it once before in college. No, I mean, this is a fantastic movie. It's very, artfully well done. You can tell the care and consideration that that Coppola put into it, that the actors put into it. Brando's performance is probably his best performance in any movie. Same with probably I would say probably same with Pacino.
Which for Brando, that's it's like, okay, you're at like a good point in your career to peak.
Yeah.
For Pacino, it's like it's a little different.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, where do I go from here? Yeah,
I was already one of the most influential movies of all time.
yeah,
Now what?
yeah. Well, it's worked out better for him than Orson Welles, doing Citizen Kane when he was 27, and then
True. That is peaking early.
yeah. But no, I if you haven't seen this movie already, you definitely need to watch it, especially if you consider yourself any kind of cinephile.
Yes. If anything, I'm weird for not having seen it yet. But hey, I've never claimed to be an expert. I tell people what I like and offer suggestions when I do feel it's like in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So it's like I am not going to. There is no notes. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like I cannot see any way you would actually improve this thing
Nah, yeah.
because I think the only criticism I have of it is that the part where Michael is hiding in Sicily is a little bit on the slow side, but I see
Oh,
why
yeah.
it's there functionally because it's designed like that's basically there to show him there is no escape from the life.
Yeah.
Like that was his chance to disappear from it,
Yeah.
but that was taken away from him rather explosively.
Yeah. His poor wife. Yeah.
Now, that showed my misunderstanding. I thought he was already married to what's her name back in America. So I was like, wait, whoa, hold on here. What?
Yeah. 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 Was it Diane Keaton? I believe. Yeah, Diane Keaton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. No, they basically broke up, and then then he
Yeah,
finds a beautiful Italian woman to marry, and then
she
kaboom,
gets
and
assassinated. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the other part too that was I've seen get parodied a lot, but is also brilliant is of course the baptism scene where
Mhm.
he's with his nephew, his niece or nephew, I can't remember, but yeah, they're doing the baptism, and he's like, "Do you reject Satan? Do you renounce Satan and all his promises?" I do renounce him, and then he's seeing all the people that he's ordered to kill get killed.
Yep.
Yeah,
But now I'm glad I finally got around to watching this. It was worthwhile.
yeah, yeah. The movie is currently on Paramount Plus.
I thought it was on Netflix too.
It might be on Netflix too. Yeah,
I think that's where I watched it.
All right. Well, I think we've said all we need to say for tonight.
Indeed.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the bell, buy some books, all that good stuff, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
Good night.